morning, guys. So I'll do this here on Facebook, and then I'll have to record the same video. I have to do it on YouTube, but in more of a practical way. Yeah. So I want us to talk about templates. Yeah, so I just want 5 people. I'm just here for 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. There's a call I need to go and make, so I need to be here for only few minutes. Okay, so I think I don't have to wait. Let me just cruise. By what time is this? 20:07. What time should I go? Okay. I don't know why my network is so bad. So let's talk about templates. So one of the questions that I get to be asked is, what are PSD files? Because sometimes you throw up an ad and then you find some people that don't understand when you're saying PSD file templates or PSD templates. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about that. So the first question that I'm gonna answer is, what is a PSD file? What is just a PSD? So a PSD is a Photoshop document. Okay, a PSD is a Photoshop document. So when you see us, we are writing PSD file template or PSD template, it means it's a template for Photoshop. Okay, so what are templates? Okay, what are templates? So I'll not talk about other things. Let me just talk about graphic related. Okay, so when you're talking about a piece of graphic that is a template, we're talking about something that has already been designed. Okay, something that has already been designed but can be able to be customized. Okay, can be able to be customized. So what I mean is something that is already made, but it has layers that can be adjusted. Okay, it has layers that can be adjusted, layers that can be edited, colors that can be edited, objects that can be edited. So a template is a design that is already made. So when we're saying a template, we don't mean a flyer. Okay, it's not only a flat template that you can make, that you can find. Sorry, we have got banner templates, we have got logo templates, we have got a template. Almost everything, every design that you can make, that you can think of, there is a template out there. Meaning there is a designer that can make it, and then you can be able to get it and then customize it. Okay, so that's what templates are: already made designs that can be adjusted and edited. Okay, so what can you adjust and what can you edit? Every object or everything that was brought together to make a design. Now, if you are a graphic designer, you understand that when you're making something, there are what we call layers, and on that layers you're gonna put a lot of things. You put lens flares, you put text, you put your models, you put icons, you put backgrounds, you put a lot of things. So those things, if it's a template, it means they can be editable. It means if I can buy a template that has got a date. I can buy, okay, let me just say, I can buy a template that was made 5 years ago. For now, I can buy it. Okay, it will have a date of many years ago, but I can edit it to the now date. I can edit it to my preferred date. Okay, it will have information that is not my information. A flyer, maybe let me just say, if it's a restaurant flyer, can talk about African Taste Restaurant or African Taste Hotel, and then I am running a lodge. That is not my hotel. I changed that to my own, to the name of my lodge, and all those kind of things. So that's what Photoshop documents are, or PSD files. they are actually designs that are already made, okay? Or the file, in other words, the file of a design. Because what we present to our clients and what we present online or to our targeted audience, those are already made, okay? We have already processed them, we have already we have already done the exporting and all those kind of things. But the data file of that particular thing that you see online is what we call a PSD, a Photoshop document or a template. So why do people use them? Okay, that is the second question that I get used, that I'm used to being asked. Why do people use them? Okay, why do people use them? So why do people use templates? There are a lot of reasons why people use templates, and I'm going to tell you one of the reasons. Why people use templates. The first thing is for resources. Okay, times and again, people who are licensed to make templates for sale are professional designers, especially graphic designers, especially to a level whereby they are selling online. Because online they will not just accept you because you can make. There are certain criteria that you need to, have in order for you to be approved to be able to sell online. So what happens is these designers, okay, they tend, that's one thing I like about templates. These designers, they tend to have access or money enough to pay for subscriptions on graphic resources websites such as Inventor Elements or FreePic. Okay, so what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, when a professional graphic designer is making a flyer, normally they don't use free resources. Normally it's premium resources. And what this means is that they use resources which are being paid for. So templates will always be a greater way it's going to be a greater or a cheaper way in requiring resources or unique resources. Okay? I remember the time I bought my first template. I bought it because I like, the lens flare that you see me using on all my design, on all my designs. I have a lot of flares, but I only love using one. That particular one came from a template. Okay, so I went and bought it because I loved the lens flare and I wanted it. Okay, I didn't find that lens flare anywhere online, so I had to buy and get them. And that particular lens flare. I also remember there was a time that I liked these icons, like the social media icons, and they were just found on this template. So I had to buy the template just to get the icons. I also remember there was a time, I wanted all these disco lights, you put in at the end of a flyer, these disco lights. So this particular disco template had those lights. So I had to buy the template to get only the disco light because I loved them. And the other time I remember buying a template was when I wanted the brush. There was this splash that this designer had used on a flyer, and I remember it was about boxing. The template was about boxing, so I bought it, and I only got the particular splash that was there because I liked it. So one of the reasons why people buy templates is for resources, getting certain resources that they know they won't have or that they can't get anywhere. The second reason why people they use template is to kill time. Okay, normally if you are working on a template, it will take you few minutes. Okay, even if it took the designer 2 hours to make, 3 hours to make, it will only take you few minutes because this is already done for you, and you are just gonna go ahead, remove the picture, change the information to your preferred, and then in few minutes you are able to deliver your work. Now this can be beneficial if you are doing your own projects or if you are doing a project for a client. It is very well, it is a good deal. It is something that you go for because it's going to give you more room to just do things quicker and then present it to your designers, to your clients as they want it. So second reason is that templates, they kill time. Third reason why people use templates, in my own opinion, and because I've been selling templates for quite some time and I know I get to talk to a lot of people. So the third reason why people they use templates is also to how will I put this one? Okay, I think I said this some time back. Sometimes clients, they'll contact you, right? And if you are one of my students, there's a topic I teach about briefings. And that is also one thing that you have to know as a graphic designer. What is a briefing? How is it executed? And how do you look at it? And how do you edit it? So if you're out there and you have nothing, you don't know what a briefing is, how it's executed, how you look at it, and how you edit it, then it means you have to be part of my classes so that I can teach you what a briefing is all about. Designing is very simple, especially if you understand certain things. So when a client calls you and then tells you, they give you this what we call a briefing. Sometimes in the briefing there's a part where they get to tell you what they want, right? And sometimes these people, they might tell you their imaginations, and sometimes they might get a design and send it to you and say, we want something like this. You get the point? And then sometimes they might send you certain things that you cannot be able to design. Okay? Follow that. They might send you a design you cannot be able to make. Remember, learning how to design is different from learning the basics of designing, and it's also different from learning how somebody designs. Okay? And that is why, and I'm so much kind of ashamed of myself, I didn't really clarify this at the beginning, because that's what most people, they were not understanding. When you are learning graphics, there are 3 stages. You can learn the basics of the particular program you're going to be using. If you're a CorelDRAW person or you're Photoshop, you learn the basics. You can learn how to design in that particular program, or you can learn how somebody designs. So when they send you that, you might be able to use Photoshop. You might be good at Photoshop. You know the do's and the don'ts. You know how to move around. You know how to do shortcuts. You know where to put what. You know where to find which one. You can be able to do that. But maybe you cannot be able to design that particular design. Okay? So what do? People, they get templates for that particular client. So that's the third reason why people, they use template, is actually to present a design they know they cannot be able on their own. So number 1 is to get resources. Number 2 is to kill time. The third one is where you get to get a design you cannot be able to make and then present it. I'll tell you one thing that sometimes, just to contribute on the time, it's very, calendars, they are time consuming. If there's a design that I'm afraid of, is calendars. Calendars, they are time consuming. You have to, there's so much things to look out for. So many things to look out for. So many things. So it tends to eat a lot of time. And then that is when now you can see sometimes you might not be able to start placing dates, days and months one by one and then arrange them. You might not have that time. You get the point? So you can buy a already made so that you can only work on the design, not on the alignment of dates, days and whatever. You see now? So yeah, so 1, resources, 2, time, 3, touches. Then the fourth one can be to learn designing. This one is kind of crucial because you gotta have to think in those lines. How do I learn from templates? Normally, if you look at a template has got layers, which has got all the, that's what I like about templates. Template has got everything that the designer did, all the layer masks, all the adjustments layers, all the effects, they will be there in each layer. You get the point? So it's an easy way. It's actually the second quickest way to learn designing. Okay? Because the first easy way to learn designing is when you have a tutor. You have somebody that can walk you through. The second one is by looking. Okay? Now, the second one by looking is the one whereby, let me say I post something, then you begin to copy from what I've done. As I said, that is the third one. The second one is the one where you have the template, because you have to look and then be able to see what the designer did. And that is why I'm still repeating myself. I'm kind of ashamed. I could have said this long time ago. There is a difference in learning the basics of your program, learning how to design in that program, and then learning how somebody designs. Let me give you an example. You can become so good, especially for my sake right now. I'm at a position where just looking at what you have done, I can be able to tell what you did. Okay? I can be able to see what you did. I can be able to identify right away. I'll be able to see that, okay, there use this, there use this, yeah, that's like that. You get the point? So when you have learned the basics of your program and you have learned how to design in your program, when you have a template, it's easy for you to learn how each one was achieved. Because when we are teaching you graphics or we are teaching you how to design something, we are going to tell about adjustment layers. We're going to teach you about effects. Okay, we're going to teach you about layers. So at the end of the day, you are going to be so knowledgeable about what happens, so that if you are presented with a template, just by looking at a template, you can be able to tell, to say, okay, this is so, this is so, this is so. Oh, so this is what he did to achieve this. So this is what he did to achieve this. So that's the fourth reason why designers or people out there tend to use templates. It's amazing. Number one, resources. Second, time. Third, touch. Fourth, learning. Okay? So there is nothing bad about templates. What is bad about template is your mindset and your approach. The only thing I would tell you is never go for templates if you have not learned the basics of your designing program. I'll repeat this. Don't use templates if you have not learned the basics of your designing program. Okay? So if you don't want to end up being stuck, learn first the designing, or learn the basics of the designing program that you're going to be using. Then later on, you can improvise the templates. It is as simple as that. Okay? So that's why we use templates, and that's what templates are all about. So, in other words, what happens also, look, not let me say in other words, but sometimes I tend to get questions from people to say, okay, please, how can I master somebody's touch? Okay, how can I master somebody's touch? You know, it's easy to master a touch if you have basic information of what to do and what not to do. It can be, no, to be honest, let me not say it's easy. It can be easy if you know what to do. Another, this is just an additional from on what I've already said. Please, if you are out there and you know very well that you are a graphic designer, let me tell you, I always tell you this, you are gonna make it. But there are two things that you have to know. No, let me not say you're going to make it. There is a chance of you making it. Number one, it's either you're going to make it, but it will take a lot of time. One thing about having mentors is that mentors kill time. Okay? What it took the mentor 5 years to learn, it will take you months to learn. Why? Because he has been through that road before. We have been through that road before, so we can be able to be your eyes and your ears. I tell you, there are people who call me, Prince, how do I? You know, the problem that I also see is that people think. People think. When I have learned how to design, I don't need a mentor. That's where the problem is. I had this chat with my brother, and we were not talking about graphics, we were talking about ministry. And we ended up saying, the problem of people, there are certain people who don't have fathers in the ministry. And because they feel they have known everything, okay? But one thing about spiritual fathers is that they are not always there to teach you how to prophesy. They are not always there to mentor you in the prophetic. They are not always there. No. A father can be there. You already know how to prophesy. You are already good in the prophetic. You can do a lot of, all this means you have known it. But you can still have a father because they have walked that road before. And you might need an advice. As a minister of the gospel, there are times maybe they accuse you of sleeping with someone. Okay? You can get a time where somebody comes and seduces you. You have never been through that road before. This is what my Bible school teacher told me. He said, sometimes there's a road that we have walked on, and we can be able to tell you, don't entertain this because it happened before. You know, one thing I can tell you about growing. One thing I can tell you about growing is that sometimes there's what is called, is something that is called experience, okay? So, somebody who is older, that's why in Nigerians they say, what an elderly man can see while lying down. They say a young man cannot see even if he climbs the Iroko tree. What does that mean? Lying down, even when he's lying down, he can see. It's because of experience, okay? He can be able to look at the decisions you are making and be able to predict your tomorrow because they know somebody did the same thing and they know the end results. So what am I trying to say? You already know how to design, which we thank God for. You already have plans. We bless God for you. you already have this, but you still need somebody to just be there for you. Okay? I told you somebody contacted me and said, man of God, somebody is telling me to give him flyers so that he can teach me the prophetic. You've seen that. How do you handle it? Me, I've been that road before. I've got a lot of people that came and approached me and gave me that offer. You can come to us, we teach you the prophetic, you give us flyers. I cannot tell you what I told him. But at the end of the day, this is the reason why. That's why in my classes, there is what I call mentorship programs. Mentorship programs, you don't come and join classes every Saturday and Sundays. No. Mentorship programs, it means you are my son. I look up for you. When you have got a question, you pick up and then you call, say, Papa, listen, I'm doing this design. I'm stuck here. What can I do? I'm doing this. Somebody contacted me a week ago. Guess what? He has been making a flyer for 3 hours. That time he was making a flyer almost for 3 hours. It wasn't working out. When he sends to the designer, to the client is saying, no, it's not good. The colors are not good. So he called me. He said, I've done this countless times. It's not working out. I only asked him one question. Ask your client, what kind of a phone is he using? That's it. And all the quarrels were solved just with that question. What kind of a phone are you using? He told him the phone. And I said, that is the reason why. He can't see what you are seeing. You get the point. Tell him to change the phone he's using. And then he can be, and he changed the phone, everything was okay. That's the power of a mentor. Somebody that is there for you. We have seen it, we have heard it, and we can tell you what to do. No wonder you're going to see people in this business that are good at what they're doing, but they're not going to go anywhere because they don't have the voice to influence their decisions. I love you so much. My name is Prince from Premium City Graphics. It will always be a pleasure coming live to you and just share one or two ideas with you. There's a comment pinned in this particular video where you can learn how to make money with my affiliate program. Please click the link below and make me a request to become one of my affiliate partners, and I'm going to approve you and then give you what to advertise so that you're going to get a commission from what you're going to be selling on your platforms. Having that said, may you have a blessed night and a productive Monday and a week ahead of you. I love you so much. Remain under the canopy of God and the love of the Almighty.